Hello everybody and welcome back to Tlatoani, where things have definitely turned around for us. We are now exporting cotton, and that is extremely valuable, of course. So we're working on gathering some additional farmland up over here, and I'm thinking about pushing out over this way a little bit as well with some of that farmland. But for now, we also need to upgrade our noble compounds to modest estates. And I was just looking at these. They have everything that they need for the moment, but I am showing here that they are lacking in something. That kind of blue thing. What is that? This. Fresh water. Oh, okay, they're lacking fresh water. We have a well dipper right here. Service usage is light. It should be fine. Should be absolutely a-okay. We could maybe get another well dipper in out over here, but I really don't think that's needed. This should be absolutely okay. No problem. Okay, so in that case, we've got 3 years for this, and we need to get our noble compounds upgraded. Our noble compounds have access to everything. So they've got cloth, they've got pottery, they've got timber, they've got fish, they've got maize, they've got good access to security, they've got good access to health, good access to civic, good access to diversion, and good access to religion. So I'm really not concerned about that. We just need them to get around to building their upgrades, right? And at this point, we're also waiting on some people to move in out over here to start working in this cotton weaver. That would be good. But I'm just watching our financials for right now, and they look decent. What are we at for our wages? 100, and taxes are at 15. So that seems okay. No issue there. Beautiful. I really don't like this situation that we've got here, but we put ourselves into that situation, so I guess it's fine. As far as food production goes, how are we feeling on that? Well, we don't have a lot stored here. That's for sure. I'm guessing we probably have some spoilage happening, is my guess. But for now, this seems to be broadly okay. So these chinampas up here are chinampaing eventually. Yeah, this is at 50% maturity, so this is definitely making some progress out over here. There's still some chinampaing happening out over this way. So 40%, 40%, and 0%. This one still needs 1 timber. Disease is rampant. We should provide herbalists or a house of healing to cure their ills. Okay, so that's understood. Okay, so sure. I'm just noting what we have there. So that's, of course, going to mean that we need some gardens. So a gardener can potentially go in, like, here. And then we could run, like, large gardens. This would be no herbs per year. Is this due to the irrigation of this area? That is a distinct possibility. Okay, so we probably shouldn't do this here in that case. Hypothetically, if we put it down here instead, this would also be 0 herbs per year. Oh, but that would be 0.2. Hang on a moment. I think we've got a rounding issue here. So a gardener here, and then small gardens, that would be 1.6 herbs per year. Okay. We could definitely do that. That's fine for now. We would like to have more small gardens in some of these areas. So that's at 21 out of 30. This would go down to 25 out of 30. This would be 30 out of 30 here. So that'll get us some herbs, and we can have this guy collect herbs if we can, but I don't think herbs move in that regard. So that's okay. Now we would need to have herbalists, at least 1. And where would we want that to go? I'm just thinking about, like, distance here, right? So somewhere around here would serve most of this area. We could put it here. Okay, I'm thinking an herbalist maybe over here. We would want to extend this road out. An herbalist goes in here. That can reach most of our areas. We can do another herbalist somewhere out over this way eventually. Right now is probably not the time to do that. But then we can also have an herbalist somewhere up over this direction to be able to reach these that are up here, like that. We've also got some space in here that we can harvest with another gardener. So we can put in a gardener approximately here, and then we can put in a small garden here, and then we can put in a few gardens in some of these locations. I'm assuming that they allow access to other structures. So that looks good. We can get some gardens squeezed in out over this direction, and we can absolutely get a couple over here. Let's see, what other space do we have here? We've got this up over this way. There's absolutely some space that we could put in over here, although we can't get it in here. Must be placed near a gardener. Okay, so that's too far away from the gardener. Understood. So there's this down over here. That's too far away from the gardener as well. There's some space up over this direction that we could put in. This is too far. And that's not terribly surprising. There's got to be more space here somewhere, right? Let's rotate this around and see if we can see anything from any other angles. Maybe there isn't. Yeah, this is pretty tightly packed. We could get in a garden there, I suppose. Okay. Yeah, that's out of space there. We could put in a garden there and there. So that puts us at 21. I mean, we could get more, but we could just say there's room for expansion here. And that's fine. So we'll get going on that. That seems good. Now, that's an improved sweeper there that is waiting to have somebody working in it. Apparently, the cotton weaver person came from the improved sweeper, I guess, or maybe the shrine priest. That is a possibility, but mostly we're just looking for some of these houses to be boosted up here. So we have everything we need here, we have everything we need here, and everything we need here. So it should just be a matter of time until these noble compounds upgrade, which we've got 16 years. So in theory, that's a lot of time. Emphasis on in theory. So we're taking up a lot of space up here with herbs. That's understood. Should make this area fairly scenic, though, so that's neat. Okay, what else might we need? Well, we're still working on chinampaing this up over here. This is 0% maturity. This still needs a timber. Okay. We do have some timber being grabbed out over this way. But most of our timber is coming from the sawyers that are like down here. This sawyer over here. We could put in another one, like right here. It's actually not a terrible concept. So another sawyer going about right here. With the idea being they're going to chop some of these. So that sounds good. We do need more timber for our tribute, after all. And masons are lacking timber right now. So getting more timber production, not a bad thing. Down this direction, we can have this potentially drop down on the amount of cotton a little bit and accept timber. And we could even slam in a sawyer somewhere around here or so. And that would be able to harvest some of these trees. I don't know about this reaching this common house. We may want to put another house like right here. That'll do for now. Services down here are going to be pretty sketchy, but that's okay. So we're net negative financially right now. That's not great, although we do see some cotton in our trading post. Okay, we'll keep an eye on our debt situation. We're not in debt yet, but I am concerned about it. Workers 1 of 2, 2 of 2, 2 of 2, 2 of 2. So I definitely want to get another worker into this cotton weaver. That's going to be a very big deal. Cool. So we're just checking in on those for now. Up over this direction, this small cottage is lacking farmers. I mean, that's not great. It just went down to 3 of 6 commoners. That person might have moved here. And yeah, we don't have access to a market there. That's... What? We have access to a market, right? Yeah, that goes right here. We have access to a market. This should be okay. I'm not concerned about that. So this Sawyer down over here, it's waiting for staff, and these clay pits are also waiting for staff. So staff is absolutely a problem. City mood is only average right now. So why is this so low? Well, our prestige is pretty low. Let's see. Housing quality, wages -1, physical health -76. That's the core issue there. Okay, so in theory, these herbalists should dramatically help that. We do need to get these gardens built. And we're working on it. So the herbalist should absolutely help that. We have one herbalist here. We have one herbalist going in up here. And we don't have herbalists up over this way yet. So I'm going to do something like this, and then we can maybe put in an herbalist in right over this direction. To be able to reach at least some of this. This one will reach the rest. Okay, that looks good. So we'll get that underway. And this herbalist will just go in here, and eventually that'll be ready to go. Cool. So the primary issue in our city mood is absolutely health. Herbalists should help that front pretty considerably. So let's just bring a road through here so I remember that that's roaded. That'll be fine. And yeah, we need herbs right now. There's heavy service usage of this herbalist, and it doesn't have the herbs coming in. Although, this will soon. Yeah, this will start producing herbs very, very shortly. That's certainly coming online. So then, the city is in debt. That is expected at this point. I wish it wasn't, but it is. These guys are arriving back, though. So that seems neat. Maybe we just had a long lag in our export, but I can see we're up to 5 out of 400 cotton in our trading post now. So that is absolutely noted. We shouldn't need too much salt. We're now out of debt. Okay, beautiful. But it's still probably going to be a little spicy. We'll see how that goes. Okay, up over here, this Sawyer is still being worked on. This herbalist still requires herbs, and this gardener is currently expected to provide herbs for this herbalist. Yes, I'm aware of this. Tribute not received? Okay. So currently this gardener is expected to provide for this herbalist and this herbalist. And then this gardener out over here is expected to provide for this herbalist. I don't know if that's viable up over here to have one gardener be providing for 2 herbalists, but for now, that's definitely what we're looking for. So service usage here is down to adequate now that this one's online. That's good. It's providing some healthcare, but we definitely need more healthcare than is being provided right now. And that means that we need to get our herbs coming in. So that's absolutely fine. We are currently working on that. So this gardener over here, one thing we could think about doing, this is going to remove a couple of trees, actually only one tree. We can do this, and then we can put in additional gardens down over this direction. So this would be small gardens. That's 25 out of 30. And that's 30 of 30. Okay, that'll do for now. This is not ideal locations. We'll probably move those later, but for the moment, this is okay. So we can see that we're definitely not doing the best on the finances at this moment. That said, we have cotton here. We're just waiting for this to export. And we're waiting for that fish to export too. We've got 155 fish there. So in theory, we should be relatively fine. In theory. Improvements to the noble compound are now under construction. This is a modest estate. This is a modest estate. This is being built. So we're going to have 3 out of 3 modest estates very shortly here. That looks good. Okay, so we need 3 stone, 58 timber, and that's it. We had something else that we needed, but it's basically arrived. So that's looking good. We are up to good now on our mood, so we can see physical health is far better already. That's great. That means that people are going to want to move in. Some of our buildings need herbs. Yeah, we're working on it. So that looks absolutely fine. We are needing soil. Interesting. That's what's removed by sweepers. So this improved sweeper has intensive service use. I'm thinking about putting another sweeper up over this direction. So that would go in here. Maybe like up here. Just so that we can reach some of this down over this way, right? And that'll take some of the strain off of this improved sweeper here. That seems great. Cool. So that's looking absolutely fine. And the cotton weavers down over here, not quite as good as we'd like them to be. So at this point, we're still definitely waiting on getting some of this online. I think more cotton production would be great. And I'm just looking up over here. These chinampas are making progress. We can actually get 2 additional cotton beds here. So that will help matters. This chinampa, not done yet. So that's understood. Checking in down over here, all of these chinampas that we queued up are completed. So these should be making progress soon. In theory. And these guys are arriving here. They are returning to trading post with 955 in profit. That would be enough to bring us out of debt for now. Yeah, there we go. So we're out of debt for the moment. For right now. So they must have exported some of this cotton here. Okay, so we have a cotton export here and a cotton export here. That's understood. So that's fine for the moment. And checking up over here, yeah, we're not actually receiving a notification of getting our modest estates upgraded anymore. So that seems great. And many of these houses over here have upgraded as well. They need access to more nutrition. Okay. So that's not terribly surprising. I want to bring a road around this way, but chinampas are going to be a bit of a problem. Actually, I'm thinking here. Road is not what we want here, is it? Because we have this road here. So what we really need to do is we need to have a canal that is up over here. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and it would go here. It'd go up to here, and it would come down to, well, ideally like right here, but it's not actually going to go there. It's actually going to go about here. And then all of this is going to be chinampa'd. And anything that's over here that's not chinampa'd would be. We should remove these roads, which is going to cause us some issues for services potentially to this cottage. But that's okay for now. And yes, many of these are not currently reachable. That's understood. I want to expand our farmland. So we'll get there soon enough. That's looking fine. So we've got about 2 years for the Grand Festival, which is scheduled. I want to point out, this is scheduled. So that'll be okay. So then at this point, all we're going to need is to boost up our prestige, our culture, our prosperity, and our population, I think. Which, providing tribute, will definitely do that. So that seems good. We do have timber on the way, so we are producing more timber. I'm not doing very much of this ahujot, so we're not doing much of that right now. We might want to have a farm dedicated directly to that. We're going to have space for 3 farms here, right? Oh, chinampas over here. This has been removed, so we need chinampas there. That's a dirt road. That's fine. And that's a dirt road. That's also fine. Okay, so that looks good. Technically, we don't need the chinampas here or here. Well, this might need chinampas, actually. I'm going to chinampa all of this. Yeah. Let's make sure that that's all chinampa'd there. Including that, if it's got anything. Okay, that'll be fine. So we'll get that underway. We'll get there soon enough. So we've now got all of these modest estates. We lack access to more diversion, but I don't actually care. So that's completely fine for right now. We've got this sweeper up over here. Hang on. There we go. This house up over here is lacking diversion. And that's fair enough. I do want to do some Chinampa-ing down over this direction and reclaim some territory over here. So this is going to be kind of awkward, but we're going to have to expand this like that. We can do a little bit of Chinampas down over this direction, but there's really not that much that can be done over here. Unless we dug a canal. Which, that would then have to be re-Chinampa'd after that, but that still might be faster. So, digging a canal out over this direction is certainly an interesting concept. We can do something like this, which would allow us to Chinampa all of this. Not out over here necessarily, but then we'd be able to Chinampa everything out over here, right? Something like that. That would buy us a lot more space over here. Yeah, let's do it. So that seems good, and we're definitely working away on all of this up over here. That'll make progress eventually. So that seems fine. We're doing okay financially. I think that's good. In terms of our objectives, there's not that much that needs to be done here. So I'm thinking that one of these up over here is going to be food related. One might be trees, timber, and then one would be cotton over here. And then for both of these over here, I suspect they would be cotton, although it's possible that we might want to have one be food and one be cotton. That's a distinct possibility. So we're currently exporting a lot of fish, and that's reasonably fine. I'm fairly content with where we are everywhere except our food production overall. I think more food production is a necessity, which is why we're expanding this up over here. Okay, so herbalists are still needing food, are still needing herbs. So checking in here, we're not seeing any herbs there yet. This gardener has nowhere to deliver their herbs. Okay. So I'm just thinking here about how we might want to end up doing this. There isn't a road connection over here. This is a dead end, and that's the core issue there. There's a road right here. If we removed these two Chinampas, which will hopefully happen pretty quickly, we'd be able to bring in a road right here, and I think that would then be in range of this herbalist. So this one up over here should be delivering to this herbalist, but it does not deliver down over this direction. So what that means is that we are going to need another gardener over here, and we can put that in right there. We can do a small garden over here, something like this. So that's at 10 out of 30. 11, we can just have this come in like this and just fill in some of these spaces, right? So then that would be 28, 29, and 30. Like that. Okay, so that seems reasonably fine. And once we manage to get this Chinampa out of here, which is apparently taking a while, then we can put in a segment of road here. I keep hoping that we're going to get this Chinampa scrapped soon. We shall see. Eventually. Maybe. Hard maybe. Nobody's coming over here right now, but hopefully they do very shortly. I'd like to have this done before the end of the episode. Preferably. So this person is building Chinampas over here. Sure. Okay. Now they're coming down and building this road. Now, hopefully, they're going to come over and scrap the Chinampa, now that they have access to it. That would be the dream. Anybody going to come over here? No? Well, we'll come back to that in a moment. I just want to check what's going on out over this direction. So, this herbalist is still reporting that it needs access to herbs, but we're now processing the harvest over here. This should be online. That looks good. This gardener is now just finished and needing staff, but we can definitely get those gardens operational. Okay, let's take this up to speed. What is this? Speed 2? Speed 3. Okay, we're scrapping it now. Beautiful. Okay, now we can put in our road here, and that road should give us access to this gardener, or rather this herbalist up here from this gardener, which means that we'll now have a place to deliver the herbs. In theory. Okay, cool. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Dark Horse, Ethan Feldman, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, The Lounge STL, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.